الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Inshallah ta'ala, let's start with the lesson. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والمطلقات والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء You look for the ayat number, is it? Surah Baqarah, obviously. Surah Baqarah, ayat number 228. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. सुभान अल्लाह, क्या हो गया भाई? समझ में नहीं, अभी तक आयत मिली नहीं क्या? लाइट बस जरा डम कीजिए उसको ताकि नजर आए, इधर से देख ले, स्क्रीन पे देखो, आवाज लाइट बंद करो पीछे से। أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. and مطلقات. What is مطلقات? Any letter that you're aware of? Qaf, lam, ta, lam, qaf, talaq. You heard the word mutallaq is the lady, mutallaqah, the one who's been given the divorce. Mutallaqah is the lady has been given the divorce. So the divorced woman. والمطلقات, the divorced women, يتربصن. يتربصن. تربص means to wait. They should wait. She should wait. يتربصن. يتربصن, to hold, to protect, to prevent, to keep her waiting. Should just wait. Like, shouldn't go out to get married before she does this. So she should hold herself back. بأنفسهن, of herself. She must hold herself back. She must keep herself waiting. ثلاثة, three. قروء, three. قروء. Okay, so a divorced woman should restrain herself, should keep themselves for 3 months. So once they're divorced, they're supposed to wait for 3 months. Okay, three quru. So what is quru? Uru is plural of qar'un. Qar'. Qaf, ra, hamza. Qar'. Qar' means time span, any period. Now, there's difference of opinion. Now, this is one such word in Arabic, and there's certain words in Arabic which are used for the meaning and its opposite as well. Both ways, same word. For example, one, wa, noon, one, wa, noon, noon, one. One is used for having a doubt about something and also for certainty, which is opposite of doubt. Both, one is used in Arabic. So Arabic is such a language where certain words would be used for one thing and its opposite. So qar is one such word as well. It has a meaning of period, period of purity or period of impurity. When the ladies have their special periods, we call it period. That's a time period. When she is having hayd, menses, that's called qar'un as well. And it could be used for the period of purity. So which is which? So based on that, there's difference of opinion. Is it the period that she has to wait? Is it the period of bleeding or period of purity? So Imam Abu Hanifa's view is, rahmatullah alayh, is that it is period of bleeding, hayd. Imam Shafi's view is that it is period of purity. And obviously there's no hadith to prove this way or that way, but there are hadiths to hint to both sides. Mostly, obviously, as Hanafis, we take this view that it is hayd. But Hanafis have a position which is based on Quranic ayat itself. In Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word thalatha. And we'll come to that. Let's do the proof of Imam al-Shafi'i, or Shawafi'. Why would Shawafi' say it is purity, not hayd? Okay. Purity in Arabic is called tuhur. So the period when you're pure, it's called tuhur, in between two hayd. And hayd is hayd. So hayd is impurity when she's bleeding, and tuhur is when she is pure. Very important aspect, very important point to understand. So tuhur and hayd. So Shawafi said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala they're using this grammatical rule, which means that if you use thalathata, which is masculine, feminine word, it refers to masculine, and vice versa, from 3 to 9. So if I wanted to say 3 pen, I can't say thalatha qalam. I would have to say thalathata aqlam, thalathatu aqlam. I would use feminine number for masculine word in singular form. That's Arabic rule from 3 to 9. So that is why you would say 5 cars. Car is feminine in Arabic. Sayyara, rounded ta. You would have to use khamsu sayyaratin. You have to use masculine number for feminine word, vice versa, from 3 to 9. You don't have to memorize that. I'm just saying this is their evidence, this is their way of thinking. So they say hayd in Arabic is feminine word, tuhur in Arabic is masculine word, thalatha is feminine, Allah used, which means it should go with masculine word, which is tuhur. That's why we take tuhur. You understand that logic? So that's the wisdom. Imam Abu Hanifa or the Hanafis would say, yeah, but the word qar'un itself is masculine. That is why Allah used thalathata. Not for the meaning, whether it's purity or hayd. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not talking about either. It's actually the word qar, which is masculine. So no, that doesn't hold any strength. Okay. So Hanafis refuted it by saying that you're using the meaning to the word. The word is already there as a masculine. So thalathata uru, because qar'un is masculine word. So that's why thalathata. Okay, fine. So they were taking the mean. You understand that? I'm just trying to jog your memory or your sharpness of understanding. So the masculine word qar'un is a masculine, word itself is masculine. If it means tahur, purity, it is masculine. If it means hayd, then it is feminine with regards to the meaning. But word itself is masculine. The Ahnaf would say, no, you don't take the meaning, you have to take the word. Word is masculine. That's why thalathata as feminine, Allah brought. But what Hanafis say, their main logic is this. They say, Allah used word three. And three is no doubt three. It is not three and a half or three or a little bit more or little less than three. So they say, what is the sunnah way of divorcing? What is the sunnah way of divorcing? Does anyone know how to divorce in Islamic way? Say again?
You have to say talaq 3 times with verbally.
But that is the way people do it. It's not sunnah. It is bid'at talaq, doing it 3 times. And it's sinful. Sayyidina Umar would flog you if you did it. So what is the sunnah way of, if you want to divorce, what is the sunnah way? Once, once qualified more. Not just anytime you just go, divorce. Mhm. Once, it's not qualified yet. When she is pure, during her purity, and one more thing, you divorce once only. In the purity, in the time that she is pure, not having haid, not having menses. And what is the third thing? One more thing. In that purity, where you have not had any sexual relationship. You understand that? The time period must be purity, that of tuhur. This is sunnah way, ahsan way. And the time must be when you have not had any relationship in that period. And I'll come to that in a minute. What does that mean? What does that imply? Can you divorce in anger? No, obviously not. Can you do that? I divorce you. I'm not happy. Divorce you. Can you do that? Why? Because you have to think. The minute you want to say it, you have to think. Is she having period? Let me ask her. And the minute you think about that, you calm down and say, oh, I have to do some homework. I don't know whether she's on her periods or not because we're not talking for a few days. I'm so unhappy and whatever. We've been fighting over the last 4 weeks or whatever, 3 days of it may be that she is on periods. I need to ask, verify her. And I'm not talking anyway. So I can't talk to her. Well, I have to let my ego go. Go. So I have to come back to her. So you know what? Tell me, I'm deciding. Which means that you have to think about when you divorce. You can't just do, oh, let me just. It's much more important than buying a house. You're breaking the whole family system. You can't be just divorcing like this. That is why it is bid'ah to divorce without thinking. And doing 3 times is bid'ah. Doing once is fine. You would mull over it. You would think about that. You would say, you know what? Let me see. And then you remember, oh my goodness. She said, no, I'm pure. Fine. Oh, last week we were together. Can't divorce. Oh, you can, but that's not the best way of divorcing. The 3 types of divorce, ahsan, hasan, and bid'i. Ahsan is the perfect one. That's the sunnah way. Which means that you would think about it and you say, you know what? I had enough. I've mulled over that. I've discussed with everyone and I had all my different steps followed. What is number one? To try, give her nice advice. She doesn't listen. Okay, next time, second time, and third time, you say, you know what? I need to separate you from my bed. You can't come in my bedroom. We have to be separated. And then she doesn't understand that. Then there is a way of trying to shake her a bit with toothstick or whatever. As Quran would say, "Wadrib," even darb. Darb means just shake her, get her come back to normalcy. If that doesn't work, get someone from your family, from her family to sit together, try to mediate. If that doesn't work, then you decide, you know what, we are divorcing. So, okay, are you having periods? Fine, don't you worry. Let's wait. Let me know when you're pure. A week later, she said, I'm pure now. Okay. And this time, we're not going to have any relationship. My first divorce to you. Verbally, ideally with someone present there, but she accepts, you accept. And she stays in the same house. You still maintain her for the next 3 periods. And if within a month, second month, and the third month, you realize, you know what, we've been living in the same house. I keep needing her, sometimes for clothes. Oh, where did I put that? Oh, I need to do this. And I feel like, I need to take her back because, and she thinks that, what, I was behaving a little bit not sensibly. Come to the term. What would happen if we are separated forever? What would happen to the children? Like, so you live in the same house, you still think, and you realize, we don't want to divorce. But it may be after a month, you say, you know what? No, I want to. And perhaps I don't want her to come back anyway. So then there is a way, then you give after the second, I mean, this is the first divorce you've done. The purity ends, she has her first period. 1 month of the iddah, or one cycle of the iddah is gone. Out of three, one is gone. Then you wait another month, she is with you. In that time, you realize as soon as she has her period completed, the first one, whenever that was, you give the second divorce. Then you wait until the next period. Next period happened, that was 2 months already completed. And you give the third if you still wanted to do it. And then you have done three. The day she has had her three divorces, he is separated forever. Mughallawa. You cannot take her back ever until halal. Now we come to that. You understand? So sunnah, the best way is when she is in the state of purity and you have decided and you have not had any relationship in that purity. Prior to the previous menses, if you had it, no problem. But not after that period that she had, the last one. No relationship, sexual relationship. And then you can divorce her once and you leave her alone. If she completes her three hayd after that, you can still marry her after 5 years, 10 years, a year later, 6 months later, next month, just with one nikah. Nikah, and she's back to you. But if you and you still have only two left though, she can be your wife. If you wanted to take her back within the 3 month, before the 3 month end, three hayd ends, you can take her back. You do not need new nikah. And you do not need her permission. It's one-sided. You decide, you give divorce, and you can take her back. She doesn't need to, okay or not okay. After three periods, she has to accept before you get her into this nikah again. You understand? That is why you keep that door open for future. Who knows after 5 years, after 10 years, what do you want? This is how sunnah is. Now, sunnah is to give divorce in purity, that's by consensus. So if you divorce your wife in purity, during the time of purity, and if you count purity as the three quru, if you take qar'un to mean purity, then would you count this purity or not? There's only two options. Either you count this one and have two more, or you don't count this and have three more. Either case, either in any situation, you can't do three. You have to do three plus extra or three minus something. Can't be three. Understand? I mean, just hypothetically, imagine she stops her haid just now, 17 past 20, you divorced. She's just pure, you just divorced. Okay. So you can say that at that second I divorce. Maybe then it is a possibility. But even then, in saying, pronouncing that word of divorce, you would have done 1, 2 extra seconds. That extra seconds or minute or however long it takes, that is extra if you do not count this purity as the first purity and count the second one, which is after the haid, 20 days later, 15 days later, however many days later, that is going to be the first one. What about these 15, 17, 18 days? That's extra. If you count this one, then this is less than, because in your saying that purity, that time of purity, you were not divorced. So she has not waited for 3 months, three periods, if it was taken as purity. You understand? Or is it too technical? It is technical, but it has to be known for all the men and likewise women. So the difference of opinion is based on the word three. Three means three. There's no doubt about three. So Imam Abu Hanifa would say it has to be three. And you can only do it as three if you take hayd. Because whenever you have given divorce, that is in the purity. The first hayd would be first hayd, then purity. Then second hayd would be second hayd, and third would be third hayd. All three completed hayd. Because you don't divorce in hayd. You divorce in purity. If you divorce in purity, regardless of when you divorce in purity, either you count that purity as the three qar'un or you don't. If you count it, that's three less than however much time you have wasted or waited before you give divorce. And if you don't count this month, the next one you would count that that's three plus this one. What about this three? You say, oh, I would take her back. Then no talaq is done. If you take her back, the talaq is done, but she's back to you. It's not no idda anymore because she's back to your wife. So you have to wait that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, however much. You have to either count this or not count it. Either way, you can't make it three. It will be three plus or three minus. Is that clear to everyone? So based on that, Hanaf say you cannot use Tuhur as a. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in one narration, he mentioned about the the, the concubines, the slave girls, handmaids. In those days they had. So they get half of everything. They get half the iddah. So for them, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the iddah of her is haydatan, two hayd. He made it very clear. So obviously, by extension, for ladies, because couldn't do 1.5. That's why it's two. It can't be half. So the 1.5 becomes two. So two for this slave girl. So then, freed lady, if she get divorced, she should have three. That is Hanafi's position. And Imam Ahmad has similar position as well. Imam Malik and Imam Shafi would take purity as the three qar'un that you have to wait. But that they've got their way of looking at that. So Hanafi said that it has to be 3 periods. Okay. And obviously they're being packed. Maybe in our term it might not be, but in those terms, yes, there will be. When can you take it back? Like if you say purity, then you have not done 3, either less or more. You have less chance or more chance to take her back. There'll be a lot of issues with regards to lady. Can she marry after 3 purity or 3 haid? So you may say, oh, it's only a matter of few days here and there. In modern term, maybe, but in those days it wasn't. It is significant. And likewise, how long could you maintain her? Another purity, extra. Less, she would say, oh, I'm not getting enough for 3 times. So, the maintenance has to be done. And likewise, when can she take khula if she wanted to? So, if you find this lady, I'm divorcing, but her sister I want to marry. You can marry someone else, the men, but can't marry that sister because you're still connected through the iddah time. So there is implication of that. That is why it is important. So duration, as I said. Now, with regards to iddah is waiting period. Waiting period. يتربصن. They should wait. For those ladies who have their regular menses, it is based on, in Hanafi school, it is based on their menses or tahara if you use the other position. If they do not have it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that it will be 3 months. For those ladies, like, they're very old, postmenopausal, they don't get any hayd for them 3 months, 3 lunar months. Pregnant, it is the wadi'i hamal, mean when they deliver the baby. That is why, now you know why you don't divorce when you had the consummation or any relationship in that purity. You do in purity, but not at the time when you had any. If you had in this purity, husband and wife relationship, and then you want to divorce, that's very bad. That is qabih, because she might get pregnant with that relationship. What are you doing? You are actually extending her iddah to 9 months, up to 9 months. So you're torturing her, damaging her. You're causing her more harm. What sort of men are you? Not men of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's ummah, because they wouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it. Just if they were really true follower of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if they are pregnant, why would you divorce them? It's bad, isn't it? They need more support at that time. So you must think about all of that factors. It's not like you just ram going in and coming out. Widow, the husband dies, then 4 months and 10 days. That's in Quran as well. So all of that is from Quran. Okay. What can she do in iddah? She can do normal activity in the indoors, but she won't be able to go out without a very definite shari'i need, meaning going to the hospital, for example, for health check or whatever. And if she has not got anyone else to look after her for maintenance, for household stuff, whatever she needs to buy, milk for the children or food, whatever, and there's no one around, then obviously she is stuck. Then she may be excused, but during the day, she cannot adorn herself to beautify herself because this is the time when you are mourning husband who passed away, or even if that husband was not so lovely that you want to mourn, you want to actually be happy. This is a very common question from the modern ladies when they get divorced, because the divorce these days doesn't happen in any sensible way. It happens because of hatred, animosity. Both families are fighting and literally having a duel or whatever if they could kill each other. And then they divorce after weeks and months, even years sometimes. And they say, to hell with that man. Why should I be mourning about that man? Why should I be, waiting for any length of time? I'm just rejoicing. I've got my freedom. It doesn't matter. This is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has imposed upon. It is not with the intention of only pregnancy. That is one reason. That is one wisdom. That is why many people say, oh, we've been separated for years. What's the point? We always live in a different country. We were never together. There's no point that we could have any possibility of having child. So I don't need to do it. Some people say that. What about the elderly people? They should never do it. If that was the only reason, why elderly, frail lady in her 90s and 80s, after the husband passed away, should do iddah? She shouldn't. That's all wrong understanding. It is not about, that's one of the wisdoms, but not the only thing. This is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has imposed upon the wives to do them, no matter what, whether they're happy or not. Okay? Again, she cannot actively go and get involved in this next proposal before she gets properly divorced. She might hint to it, but cannot accept or reject. I mean, she should stay away from all of those. She can reject if she wanted to. Because sometimes when they're doing iddah, the people, the potential, obviously it doesn't happen these days. It's a luxury the ladies had. If they were ever divorced or widowed, many men would like to be with that. They would just offer. They would just come and say, I'm thinking about second, this is okay, and Quran would mention it. Khitbah. It will come in the next few weeks. Khitbah, proposal. You can't actively ask for, the marriage, but you can say to the woman who's just been doing her iddah that I am looking for for marriage. I'm looking for nikah. That sort of hint through someone else, whoever, like family members or some other ladies of the family. So she knows their potential people, and then she would decide after she is purified from her iddah. It should be done in the same house where she's divorced. You can't kick her out. That's another haram practice that goes on. Zulm. The husband would divorce out of anger when she had, the user last night and divorcing today. Out you go from my house. She must stay in the same house for her iddah period, whatever that is. She must be maintained by the husband. She has to be looked after by the husband because they still remain together. Okay, because until iddah ends, they are together, unless he is divorced 3 times. But even then, she is entitled for the maintenance. So as I said, it's the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah can impose whomsoever He chooses. So He imposed for the ladies to do it. Now, many a time, one of the other wisdom is about how would someone know? Anyone can claim that we were never together. What if you get pregnant, and you can get pregnant, by the way, very limited chance, but there is a potential that the relationship was a few weeks ago, long time ago, and you just happen to get pregnant now. Limited chance, but it is a possibility. Very remote possibility, but still a possibility. Some sperm stayed somewhere in the body. Highly unlikely, but it's still a possibility. You can't exclude the possibility completely. Even a month, 2 months later, 3 months later. So if that happened, then what? And you won't be able to say that, I didn't observe this iddah because we were never together, but I just remember that we had it a month earlier. And now you're pregnant. And people say you never observe iddah. It must be that you've been to some men. You must be going out hunting for men because you are involved in haram activity. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevent all of that avenues, protect the woman and the society from any fahisha, any immodesty, so that no one charge anyone, no one claim anything against someone else. So they don't charge, they don't do any haram, slander. So men is responsible. So men should say, why should I be been away? Why should I be maintaining this lady for 3 months? He is there to maintain you anyway. He's doing it, you're doing it as well. You continue with your role of being in iddah. Okay? Men can't say that, I'm not going to maintain because I hated her all her life. She never supported me. She was never a good wife. As you say about him, he can say the same thing about you. So yeah, don't come up with your own understanding or logic. Leave it to Allah subhanahu. We don't need to understand all the wisdom behind it. And as I said, there is potential for revoking. If you hate that man, he has a right to revoke whenever he wants to revoke. Take you back. Both to think about for children, for family, for future. And lineage has to be protected. If you happen to have anything, people would charge you. People wouldn't know that you were not together. Okay. ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن ولا and not is what is not يحل halal. It is not halal lahunna for them, these ladies. It's not the lady has been divorced. It's not halal for her an yaktumna, that she hides, she conceals ma khala, what Allah had created in her womb. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making in her womb, like a baby, she shouldn't be hiding it. She should disclose it. She, I hate this man. I never wanted this child. Now that I'm pregnant, I'm not going to tell anyone. I would abort, and I would just be just 3 months. I'm done with haram. Allah made it clear. It's not halal for you, ladies, to do it. Okay. إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. If you are the believer, if you do believe in Allah and the last day, if you believe in Allah and the last day, then you shouldn't be concealing it. If you do not worry about akhirah, you do not worry about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do whatever you like and you'll find out. وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا. And bu'ul is husbands. Their husbands, bu'ulatuhunna, their husbands are ahaqqu, they are more rightful. They've got the more right. في ذلك, in this matter. In aradu islaha biraddihinna, they are of the more right of raddihinna, they're returning back to. So, O men, O guardian, if your daughter or your sister has been divorced, their husband who divorced them, they have more right to revoke that and take her back. So this lady must be returned back should he want to take her back. You do not intervene and stop. You do not come in the middle and say, you know what? No, you'd never go back to that man because he's so horrible. He's divorced you once. I'm not going to let my daughter ever go back to that man because he's horrible. You have no right. You can't do that. Unless you fear for her safety, and that's a different matter. Normally, let them be together. The husbands have more right for their wives to be returned back to them even after divorce in this matter. In aradu islaha, if they both if they all want peace, they want some, decency in their life. They want to sort it out. Islah. They want, you know, they have to make it, which would come in the next bit. In aradu islaha. If they want the reconciliation, if they want to work together, they have come to the term, let them do it within 3 months and don't interfere. وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And for them, these ladies had similar to what is upon them in goodness. Meaning the responsibilities of the women are the same as they have some responsibility towards the husband, so they have the rights. So women are not just being given some responsibility, you have to do iddah. No, you have been given maintenance as well. House, clothing, and shelter. All three. It's his responsibility. So when you are doing it, you're getting something as well. So don't feel that, oh, why is this? وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. وَاللَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. And for men, لِلرِّجَالِ, and for men, rajul is singular, rijal plural, and for men is عَلَيْهِنَّ, over them, الدرجة. They have a slight level above. They have one level above women, which is the level of authority, a responsibility, and a sense of, more authority. Why that is? Because this authority comes with a lot of responsibility. The responsibility of maintenance and providing them for food and for children and for whatever. So they have to do it throughout the life together as husband and wife. And for that, someone has to maintain the order in the house. It could have been the women, it could have been the men. Allah decided for men. That's why Allah made them physically able to do it and emotionally able to execute all those responsibilities in the sensible way. I'm talking about Rajul being the one who is sensible enough to understand that concept. He's not someone crazy men of today who just grows beard or has got tendency to impregnate something and they think that I can do it. Not at all. That's not Rajul. Rajul is someone who can balance his life, wife's responsibilities, children's responsibilities, parents' responsibility, and he can work it out in the nicest way. Whenever this man is sandwiched between them and keep causing trouble here and there, this is not Rajul. He's crazy. When he keeps saying, I can't live because I'm depressed, my family, pulling his hair and committing suicide. That is not Rajul. That's crazy man, should be flogged. Doesn't deserve to be a husband. Husband is someone, the Rajul is someone who live up to those standards and he can maintain all of those in the most decent way. And for thousands of years of men history, they have done it. Obviously, current men, the modern men, is not even men. He's just dumb creation, worse than animals, because he can't deal with anything. Little trouble from wife, he started talking and fighting with parents. Little challenge from mom, and she started emotionally trying to, I would divorce you. Started fighting with both sides. He can't cope with anything. Any little stress, and he's on drugs. He's not even men. I mean, forget about him being men. He's not even human being. Because that is not the role that he was appointed for. He was not given this title of Rajulia just by having, some certain hormones, specific way of dealing with things. You must be mature enough to know. And you will see 17-year-old leading the whole army expedition, Osama, son of Zayd ibn Haritha. 15-year-old coming, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. They could lead the whole army. They could do whatever they needed to do. They could maintain 3 or 4 wives in their early 20s. And very easily, very smoothly. But we can't deal with one wife who's perhaps even working as well, so you don't need to worry too much about finances or whatever they're doing. But we can't. Sometime in the name of this or sometime in the name of that, you just go and open up. You always come in between. So never do that. Always leave the relationship, nurture themselves. You do not interfere. The problem is the day you get your wife, you completely start thinking about your wife, expressing everything that you have, giving her all the information about your very sort of Muslim childhood, where your father and mother keep beating you and keep telling you often you were the worst one, you've not been treated very well by your siblings, your parents and grandparents were quite abusive, and you know what? You're the only motherly figure I have. After my mother giving birth to me, I would rather be in your lap. Please look after me. And she said, I will do it. And she snatches you from your mother and father. And you feel that, oh, wow, there you go. I've got a motherly figure. I must just divorce my mom and dad. And I'm happy with this new mother. She is working as mother and wife together. Whenever I need top and bottom, I can just enjoy whichever side I want to be. Inna lillahi wa. So he needs to be flout. This is not even men. I wouldn't even give him a job to just clean the toilet in the house. He can't even manage that much. You must be mature enough and learn all of that before you think about getting married, because you have a responsibility towards all the people around you. You may have a divorced sister afterwards. You may get children and get divorced and you have a second wife. How would you cope with all of that? Emotionally, you must be very, very mature and sensible. That is when you get this status, and then you become a little bit a daraja, a status that man has, a degree above them. Without this, no. Wallahu azizun hakim. Allah is exalted in might and Allah is wise. Inshallah, we leave it here. I thought we'd be able to do a bit more ayat, but inshallah, we'll leave that. Little bit more slides on divorce, but because the next ayat, next 2 or 3 ayat, 4 ayat, they deal with the triple talaq, and that's a big issue in Ummah. So you should definitely be aware of that. And inshallah ta'ala, we try to express all of them, explain inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give us tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.